Hey again, everybody. This is Comic Book Hangover. It is actually Friday, which means it's time for my weekly haul, weekly review video, and not a full run Friday because yesterday was Thanksgiving. I figured more people would be more interested in spending time eating turkey, which is what I love to do on Thanksgiving, than sit on YouTube and watch videos about comics. Now, I could be wrong because I was looking at comic book stuff most of well, after I ate and while I was watching TV, I was on my phone looking at comic book stuff. But I just figured take move this video back a day so everybody can have a chance to do what they want to do, and then come back here and check out my weekly haul, weekly review video. So before we get into the books that I picked up this week, which there were quite a few, let's talk about some of the books that I got last week. And I mean, these are books I want to mention, but there's not a whole lot really I can say without giving away some stuff. Like Power Rangers, number 13. It's the second part of the Altarian War. It is really awesome. There's some great stuff that happens in this book. I don't really want to give it too much away. I know it came out last week, so the spoiler thing is essentially lifted, but still, I don't want to give away too much. But this story is getting really good. It's getting bigger. The only thing that bothers me about this is we've got this cat creature here that is a ranger now. It's the new blue Omega Ranger. And instead of referring to the cat as he or she, they refer to it as they. And it makes no sense because there's only one cat. So I haven't seen it split up into multiple cats, so calling it they just doesn't make any sense. It's either a male cat or a female cat. I don't know which it is, but the fact that we have a non-human or non-humanoid creature as a Power Ranger, especially one that doesn't speak English, so the other Omega Rangers don't understand what it's saying. So it's an interesting, very interesting addition, and I'm super super curious as to where it's gonna go because I do like the idea of having something totally different as a Power Ranger. So that's pretty cool. But this has been a really good read. Also, a really good read is the Batman versus Bigby. We're at the halfway point now for this one, so we're going to be learning more about who is actually behind these book-based crimes. Which, if you got literary-based crimes, and that's right up the Fable's alley because all those characters, they're all literary characters and concepts. So Bigby and Batman, they're actually working together, kind of, sort of. You got actually Cinderella is on the Gotham PD, which is kind of cool, kind of interesting. But great series. If you are a fan of Fables, you need to be on this book. That's such a great book. Also, a great book is The Refrigerator Full of Heads. You've got, really all you can say about this book to prove that it's an awesome book. It has a decapitated shark head that's still alive and still chomping away. So it's great. It picks up after the Basket Full of Heads. It's referencing that story, that 6-issue miniseries, actually 7-issue miniseries, time and time again. The gal from that one is a character in here. Everybody's wanting this battle axe. Who knows why they want it? Probably not for anything good, but it's been a great series. It's great to have a follow up to a story like Basket Full of Heads, and have that follow up be just as good as the original, and have that same level of action, of tension, of just everything. So it's a near perfect follow up to Basket Full of Heads. It's great. So before I get into this week's books, I do want to show I got another graded book in. This is a 9.4. Now, the only reason why I picked this one up originally is because they had a Silver Surfer story on it. And honestly, the Silver Surfer story wasn't that good. But the book has become a key, not because of Silver Surfer, but because of Kamala Khan. This is the all-new Marvel Now .1. It's got a number 1 on there, but I think it was just a one-shot. So I just got this back in this week. It's a 9.4. That's fine. You know what? Anything that's like a 9.4 and above is fine. We used to call those mint condition or near mint books. It wasn't until all this grading nonsense came along that suddenly, has to have a 9.8, has to have a 9.8. But honestly, anything 9.4 and above is basically the same thing. The differences between a 9.4 and a 9.6 and a 9.6 and 9.8 are minuscule. They're to the point where there's really not much of a difference. So I'd say anything that's a 9.4 and above, just go for it. It's a great thing to have. All right, so let's see here. What do I want to talk about before I get into this week's haul, which is a mix of new issues, back issues, and some local comic shop day books that I picked up. Let's see here. So next month, December. So we've got nothing's going to happen on Monday. So also, my weekly haul, weekly review video is going to be back on Thursday, starting next week. And so on Mondays throughout the month of December, I am planning on doing a best of 2021 series of videos where I'm just going to talk about some of the best and some of the worst books that I picked up. So this is just going to reflect my collection, the books that I picked up throughout the year, new releases, new issues that I picked up throughout the year. So it's just going to reflect my books and my opinion on those books, good or bad or indifferent. So I'm still working on getting some categories, try to have some fun with it, you know. So it's not going to be an industry-wide video. I don't if it's not a book that I've picked up, then clearly I didn't have enough interest in it to buy it, so I'm not going to talk about it. So every Monday through the month of December, there will be a best of 2021 video. Now I know there's still books coming out in December, but by and large, December releases, they're just kind of, at this point, all the publishers are just trying to get to January so they can start another round of, of specials and, events and just setting up. So, I mean, like Marvel, you will usually release a big book in December that's supposed to set up everything in 2022. So it sets up everything in the next year. I think Timeless is their book this time around. But as far as Full Run Fridays go, I'll have one. I don't know what it's going to be. We'll figure it out. So that's what that is. So we're gonna have best of 2021 through the month of December, and Full Run Fridays may or may not be an every week thing. So that's what we got coming up. Now let's jump into the books that I picked up this week. It's kind of a nice mix of stuff, I think. So I grabbed House of Slaughter #2, regular. I think this is the regular cover. I'm not getting the a lot of variant covers for that. Actually, probably I'm not going to be getting any variant covers for it if I can help it. It's the first issue was a pretty decent read. I'm hoping that it is a better read than the first issue was. I was kind of disappointed in the first issue, so I'm giving it a chance. Hopefully, this character can develop and become just as much of a badass as Erica is. So I have hopes for it because James Tynion is a great writer. He hasn't let me down yet, really. This one here's first issue. I'm going to try it out. Joy Operations from Dark Horse. So I figured first issue, I'm going to check it out. Why not? Because I always say, I haven't said it in a while, but I used to always say, when you go down to your LCS, don't be afraid to try something new. If there's a new first issue coming out, and there's first issues coming out almost every week, try one. Just give it a shot. Or if you want to try something different, if you're a regular at your LCS, talk to the people behind the counter. The employees and the owners, the people that know you and know your habits. Ask them what they would recommend and suggest. They might point in the direction of something rather interesting. And if you don't like it, just grab the one issue, and if you don't like it, you pay it forward or just put it in your collection or whatever. The next one, Radiant Black #10. It seems like I just got an issue of Radiant Black, but I really like that cover. That is a sweet cover, and this book has still been really good. Kyle Higgins has been just killing it on Radiant Black. My only Marvel book this week was The Death of Doctor Strange, #3 of 6. And again, the only reason why I'm getting this is because there's a one-shot coming out next month. It's going to have Elsa Bloodstone and her brother Cullen in it, and I really like those characters. I've liked Elsa Bloodstone since her first 4-issue miniseries Bloodstone. I have that. I know it's getting to be a very expensive, very pricey book, that first issue, which makes no sense to me at all, because that's like a $5 book all day long, but now it's like over $200. I've seen it in some places, but anyway, we'll talk about that another day. The last regular book that I picked up this week, Robin #8, which honestly, I'm going to give this series until issue 10, because I got to admit, I do like this character, but this whole Lazarus thing that they're doing, this Lazarus Island, this tournament, this sort of Mortal Kombat style tournament that they're doing, This is not really what I was hoping for when this series started up. I was hoping for, seeing Damian Wayne's interactions with other characters, and just because I like his arrogance and his massive confidence. And it's really not getting that. It's getting tested in this story, but not in the way that I was hoping for. So I'm going to give this until issue 10, and if it's not, if it hasn't picked up by that point, I'm pretty much going to be done with the series, I think, as of issue 10. So now those were the regular books. So let's talk about the local comic shop day books, which these are not free books. These are, I mean, they do have prices on them, from $3.99 to $4.99. I think there's a handful of them, 5 or 6 of them. I only grabbed 2 of them because they're the ones that had covers that were interesting to me. The one I grabbed was DC versus Vampires #2. I don't have the first issue of it. I'm not a vampire person personally. I couldn't care less about them for the most part. But again, it's just my personal opinion. I'm more of a zombie guy, so. But this was a sweet cover. You got Green Lantern as a vampire, and he's using sort of like his Green Lantern energy to make his fangs and whatnot. So it's pretty cool cover. So I had to grab that one. It's also like a foil. I think it's that's the cardstock variant cover for issue 2, and they just put made it like a foil, nice shiny cover. The other one I grabbed was because I'm reading the series regular, and it is a pretty cool cover. This is a Jay Lee cover. It's nice to see Jay Lee doing stuff again. This is House of Slaughter #1. It's a black and white sort of sketch cover deal. Jay Lee is an amazing artist. He did some great stuff back in the 90s, and he just kind of dropped off the radar. But he's back doing stuff, and dude hasn't lost it all. I mean that is a slick cover. I love that cover, so I had to pick that one up. So I grabbed those, and then I got a couple of back issues because my LCS was doing a Black Friday sale. It's actually going until today, till Friday. So I'm hoping to be able to head down there, maybe grab something else. I don't know. I may not, but I grabbed a couple of back issues because their back issues were 50% off. So couldn't resist it, and I saw these 3 books. This is Elvira's House of Mystery. I grabbed issue 5. So I don't have that one yet. I'm going to try to get the full run of this. I have the first issue and the final issue, so I'm just doing the fillers. So I got issue 5 and issue 10. I love that. I especially love the little homage, a little EC homage here. Got this little girl here that's dressed like the old witch from the EC comics. She was the hostess of the Haunt of Fear. Great stuff there. And then speaking of EC, I'm always on the lookout for EC reprints. I'm trying to collect as many EC reprints as I can to get full runs of stuff. So the EC Classics or magazine-sized reprints, I'm trying to get all these. I got issue 8, Crime Suspense Stories, so one of my favorite and one of the more iconic EC covers. I'm not sure what's on the flip side of this, but that's pretty. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look and see what's on the flip side of it, because they do back-to-back covers here. So this is. Here we go. Another Crime Suspense Stories. Look at that. And actually, I don't think I'm familiar with. That's one of the few covers, very few covers, I'm not really widely familiar with. So that's Crime Suspense Stories #18. The front cover, I don't know what issue that is, but I love that cover. That's an amazing cover. So that's that. That's what I picked up this week. So I guess I could wrap this up the way I used to. Yeah, and that's what I mentioned before. When you go down to your LCS, always ask them to try something different. If you see a first issue coming out, like there's another first issue that came out that I totally overlooked. I completely forgot when I went down to my LCS. It's called Good Boy. It's about a dog with a gun. You really can't go wrong with that, right? So I'm going to pick that up next week if my LCS still has it. But stuff like that, Joy Operations. I'm not entirely sure what it's about. I read the solicit, seemed interesting, but not really sure what it is. But first issue, what the heck? Why not? I picked up the first issue of Noctera. I enjoyed it. I picked up the first issue of Something Is Killing the Children. I enjoyed it. First issue of Radiant Black. I enjoyed it. So there's if you go with independent books, your Boom, Dark Horse, Image, that sort of thing, you're going to have more hits than misses. They seem to really focus more on the stories, whereas it seems like Marvel and DC are focusing more on, if there's a movie or a TV show coming out for this character, then we'll do a book, as opposed to putting books out that the fans want, regardless of what is on Hulu and what is in the theaters. But that is what it is. But as I said, as I was saying though, go down to your LCS, ask them for suggestions. If they know you well enough, like my LCS knows me very well, so if I go down there and ask them for a suggestion, they're going to point me in the direction of a book that's usually going to be pretty good for me. And if you don't like it, you just bind that one issue. And if you want to try it for a couple of issues and see how it goes, great. If you just want to try one issue and it doesn't really grab you and you want to move on to something else, you could do that too. So don't be afraid to try something new. It's always a good idea to expand your horizons in comic books. It's good to have the specific type of characters, a specific genres, a specific publishers that you want to follow, but it's always a good idea to kind of sort of dip your toe in other pools and see what the water's like, because you may enjoy it even more or equal to what you're reading currently. So try something new. Go down to your LCS and try something new. They got books for everybody down there. If you got a great one, I've got a great one. So that's it. We're going to wrap this up. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We're going to spend the whole weekend sort of recovering from it. If you're going out, and if you've gone out for that Black Friday nonsense, hope you survived with as little scrapes and cuts and bruises as possible, and got some stuff that you really like. Me, I mean, sometimes I go out. Usually I don't. I couldn't care less about it. I don't really like being around people in general, so I'm not going to go out to Black Friday. It's insane. But have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you next week, next Thursday at the very least, for the next Weekly Haul, Weekly Review video, which, again, is going to be back on Thursday. This one was a Friday edition, only because of Thanksgiving yesterday. So enjoy your food comas. Some of us are going to be in food comas all week. I know tomorrow, which is Saturday, my family and I are going to be setting up our Christmas tree. Little boy wants to have that set up, so we're going to get it done. If that's what he wants, that's what we're going to do. So that's it. That's what I got. Everybody, thanks for watching. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, and you like my presentations or whatever it is that I'm doing here, and you like the books that I'm picking up, if these some of these books that you like that I grabbed, especially like the back issues, the EC Classics, or the Elvira, go ahead and give me a like. Just kind of tickle that like button down there. It likes it. It really likes it. Subscribe, comment, share the video, hit that notification button, because I'm going to be doing some of these videos ahead of time so that the notifications will be coming in handy. And we'll see everybody next week with another round of Weekly Haul, Weekly Review. Have a great weekend, everybody.